Hey everybody, welcome to UK Boxing Group. Let's talk boxing with me, Triple D. As always, don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, hit that subscription button. Yes. Well, Tyson Fury, I've seen if he is to win and be successful on the 17th of February and become undisputed, he will vacate his belts. Now, that's not good for Tyson Fury. It's not bad for the heavyweight division, maybe. But for Tyson Fury himself and his claim of being the greatest of all time, no, it's not going to happen. His achievements next to none. Going over to Germany, beating Klitschko, going over to America and that comeback, beating Wilder the way he did. It was one of the most satisfying nights of my time as a boxing fan. Beating Deontay Wilder in that second fight, and he got robbed in the first, and what have you. Defense against Dillian White. Defence against Chisora. Now that's not good enough. Chisora. White's a good defence, but he doesn't stack up. He's had 6 world title fights, 3 defences, what have you. When you're claiming to be the greatest of all time, the likes of Muhammad Ali, the likes of Lennox Lewis, the likes of Larry Holmes, Joe Louis, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Vladimir Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko, in no certain order. As it is for me, number 1 and 2 is Lennox Lewis and Ali, but have in no certain order. But them guys have all got proof in the pudding. They've backed it up. The resumes are tremendous. It's like Lennox Lewis. How many 18 world title fights, what have you. Muhammad Ali, 20 plus world title fights. Lewis, he had something like 25 world title defences. Larry Holmes, 21 world title fights, 20 defences, or maybe I'm a bit off with my stats here, but it's roughly around the right area, you know what I mean? And Tyson's doesn't stack up to that, and it's a long way short of that. And you see, you like to say you're the greatest of all time. You look at let's start with Muhammad Ali. What he did. What he achieved. He was in so many world title fights. It was, and the resume itself. He took the full division out. Starting against Sonny Liston. Fought Sonny Liston 2 times. Just go through the list. He's had Joe Frazier 3 times. Ken Norton 3 times. As I say, Sonny Liston twice. All top names. George Foreman, Spinks twice, Ron Lyle, Shavers, Jimmy Young, Floyd Patterson twice, Jerry Quarry twice, George Chuvalo twice. That's a massive resume. They're all top fighters. They're all top names on your resume. You know what I mean? And whether you win or lose them, but he won the majority of them, Muhammad Ali. And, that says it all, that resume. Again, Lennox Lewis, tremendous resume. He fought everybody of his era. You look at his list, starting with, not in no particular order, Klitschko, Mike Tyson, Holyfield. There's 3 all-time greats there alone. He fought Holyfield twice. Shannon Briggs, he was the lineal champion at the time, I believe, when he fought Lennox Lewis. Frank Bruno, Oliver McCall twice. Hakeem Ratman twice. Now Ratman, don't get me wrong, but he still was a world champion, still defeated Lennox Lewis, and is what it is. But again, David Chua, hell of a fighter. Ray Mercer, hell of a fighter. Tommy Morrison. Michael Grant was very hyped at the time he fought Lennox Lewis. He put him on there, seen him, he got rid of him. Henry Akuande, stopped famously John Fury, as we all know. Ruddock, Francis Bowfeg. A lot of the list is, it's a difference, it's in comparison to what Tyson's got, it's not even, close. So if Tyson, if it's true, if he does vacate and that's it, he calls it a day and retires, his achievements there, yeah, they will have him there or thereabouts, the top 15, top 10, 15, but to get into that bracket of the greatest, the number 1 heavyweight of all time, is a long way short of that. And you can only judge these things by resumes and what fighters have done. You have Evander Holyfield, look at his resume, you know, look what he did coming up from cruiserweight, you know, fantastic fighter, fantastic fights, the trilogy he had with Riddick Bowe and so on and so on. He'd been in something like, that shows it 25 world title fights. Evander Holyfield is right up there, you know, he's a fantastic fighter, fantastic resume, fantastic achievements. Even currently, well, not current, but not too far back, Vladimir Klitschko. Yeah, he fought in a weak era, but he fought everybody there was to see available for him, and he went on to have, I think it's one of the longest reigns, or if not the longest reign as a heavyweight world champion. So you've got to put respect there. His brother, Vitaly, something like 17 world title fights, you know. He was a fantastic champion. He did what he had to do, again, not in the greatest era, but he did what he did, and he's seen everybody off. And he was a fantastic champion, and I rated Vitaly very highly. Vladimir Klitschko, on the other hand, he wasn't for me. I respect what he did as a fighter, but I think out the two of the brothers, I think Vitaly was the better fighter. Um, you know, and even Mike Tyson, you know, he gets a lot of, he's in between, isn't he? You know, he gets a lot of slander, he gets a lot he didn't face anybody, but he did what he had to do at the time. And his achievements stand to this day, youngest heavyweight champion of the world. You know, he took everybody out from 85 to 1990 when he got that famous upset, the biggest upset in boxing in what I've seen to date, you know, when he lost to Buster Douglas. But then he come back after his troubles, getting convicted and going to jail. He come back and he regained the titles, and you know he seen everybody come short against Holyfield. But again, he went on to fight decent fighters, and you know it is what it is. I think something like Mike Tyson has 15 world title fights, 4 losses. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's around there. You know, something around that. Them stats. But yeah, for Tyson Fury to get into that bracket, to get, like says, like he claims he's the greatest of all time. A lot of his fans claim he's the greatest of all time. Now, I'm not digging here, I'm a massive admirer of him. Being a huge fan of him. Do I think he's a fantastic fighter? Yes, I do. Um, as of now, we've gone off his last fight. I ain't sure if he's still got it or not, but I believe it was an off night, as I've said in previous videos. And if he does come through successful and beats Alexander Usyk, yes, it gives him some more substance, and it will keep him hovering around there, pushing, knocking on the door, but he will not get in to be the greatest of all time. He's not even getting in the top 5, you know. So he's got a lot more to do. I think I'd like to see Tyson fight on. If he does beat Alexander Usyk and is successful and retires, it does claim he does claim the stake and for his legacy. He is the greatest of this current era. I'd like to see him fight AJ, but you know, to just top it off, because then he has beat every one of his era who's the top dog at the time, you know. But to go on and establish the dominance, the accolades, and the claim like Lennox Lewis can, Muhammad Ali can, you know, and the other great fighters I mentioned, you know, like for me to knock off Lennox Lewis and Ali, you know, I don't think it's ever going to happen no matter what Tyson does, because it's too late in the career, but he could get close, you know, and the current heavyweight division does get a lot of stick, you know, it's not that great, it's this and that. I think we'll look back on it in time. I think, you know, it wasn't a bad era. You know, there's some good fighters, but the current crop we could go on and see. Now, he's seen Wilder, he's seen Klitschko, he's seen Dylan White, credible names. Chisora even there 3 times, you know, back in the day. Chisora wasn't a bad fighter, he's still game to come, but it wasn't deserving of a world title shot in the previous fight, in the 3rd fight, in the trilogy. Let's have that right. But the 2 victories over him, previous, there wasn't world title fights, but it's not a bad name to have on your resume. It's a good win, good wins. But again, you know, there needs to be more substance there. So if Tyson could go on, now what is he, 35, go on to 38, that's 3 years. Vladimir Klitschko's case, I think he was 39 when he, or was he a bit older than that, but whatever, you know, he could possibly go on Tyson Fury to fight, let's say, till 38. And if he could get the likes of the current crop, which I like to say, a lot of people slander today's heavyweight division. I don't think it's too bad, and as I said, I think we'll look back in time and we'll think, it wasn't a bad division that, there was some good names. But Tyson, if he could go on and be successful on the 17th, and then go on to have some defences against the likes of Anthony Joshua, for starters, that's a huge fight. That is a massive fight, no matter what. Um, it could have happened in the past, maybe it should have, but it didn't, and it's still there. And it could have been bigger in the past, possibly, but I still think it's a massive event, a massive fight, huge fight. So Anthony Joshua, let's go get that fight next. From Tyson Fury's side, I think it'd do wonders for him. It's a fantastic fight to have, a great event, and for me, it'd be probably, well, it is the biggest heavyweight clash, British heavyweight clash of all time. Some people might dispute it was Lennox Lewis, Frank Bruno, but I think with the way modern times are, social media and everything, I think it'd just blow up. It'd be huge, massive fight. Anthony Joshua, that could be your first defence. Of course, there's mandatories and what have you, and that comes into play. But in this ideal world, like I say, just get these names. The likes of Zilly Zhang, that'd be another great box ticked off, and he's right up there with the mandatories to get a shot at these titles. Zilly Zhang, he's come through two massive fights, two great victories against Joe Joyce, who was very highly touted. A lot of people believe he'd give Tyson a hell of a night. A good fight, people saying it could be AJ, what have you, before it happens. But styles make fights. It don't necessarily mean because he got beat by Zhang, he can't beat uh, B and C, you know what I mean? It is what it is in boxing. That's not how it works. It's styles make fights, and you've got. So Joe Joyce is up there still, and then you go to like your Filip Hrgović's. That's another good name, another good defence. The hype was massive on Hrgović. It's simmered down a little bit in recent times, but he is a dangerous fighter, and he is a good name on your resume, and he is one of the top boys of this current era. Andy Ruiz, he's one of them. He's a victim of his own success. He's pricing himself out of a lot of big fights because apparently he could have fought Tyson Fury. He priced himself out of that, and we ended up with Derek Chisora. But you don't know. But I don't believe he is pricing himself out of a lot of big opportunities. And who is, but nonetheless, he is a good fighter, a dangerous fighter, and he's a good fighter to have on the resume. Um, Makhmudov, he's what I've seen of him. He looks a dangerous motherfucker. He's a big fella, big unit, Russian, looks scary as hell, and he can punch. So that'd be another great defence, another great fighter to have on your resume. Well, I say great, another good fighter to have on your resume. Um, Sanchez, he's highly rated, highly ranked, sorry. So there's another name. Miller, Jared Miller, Jarrell Miller, sorry, Big Baby. That's a good fight, and he sells a fight, that guy, So that'd be a good fight, a good name to have on your resume. The other kid who I've missed out totally, the other big baby, is it Jared Anderson? He looks like he's up and coming. Another good name there. So if he could see maybe 50% of them, it'd give him some more substance there, Tyson Fury, to make that claim he is the greatest of all time. Because trust me, it's hell of a claim, and it takes a lot of substance to get there. And as I said, his achievements are right up there. The current crop of heavyweights, the champions, what we've had recent times, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and Alexander Usyk. Out the three of them, the best resume is Anthony Joshua, but the best achievements for me is still Tyson Fury. Usyk beating Joshua, fantastic achievement, back to back, did it, on the road again, as always with Usyk seems to be the case, but what he's done at heavyweight, he has only really got the two Anthony Joshua victories as it stands. If he goes on to beat Tyson Fury, to become undisputed, two-time undisputed cruiserweight and heavyweight, but there's a separation there, cruiserweight is cruiserweight, heavyweight's heavyweight, and again it's only three. He's been in four because he's had the defence of Daniel Dubois, but there's like for his start to make the claim of being the greatest of all time heavyweight, there's still a bit for Alexander Usyk to do as well. His achievements up to now are fantastic, but he still needs them defences. He still needs more fights there at heavyweight. His success at cruiserweight, you can't take it away. That will get him into the all-time greats. One of the greatest. He's right up there, Hall of Famer for what he's already achieved. But that is at cruiserweight, and he has, like I said, don't get me wrong, he's achieved good at heavyweight as well, beating Joshua. Um, but there's more to do at heavyweight. Cruiserweight is right up there. He's number one for me. Number one greatest cruiserweight of all time. Followed closely by Evander Holyfield and David Haye. Fantastic fighters, all three of them. But for me, I think Usyk, the way he did it, all the fights was on the road, and he did it in tremendous style. And for me, he's number one. It's debatable. People will have their opinion. It's Evander Holyfield. People will even say it's David Haye. But for me, it's Alexander Usyk. But again, at heavyweight, there's more to be done. And he's doing it. You can't knock the guy, Alexander Usyk. He is doing what he's meant to be doing. He's acting like a champion. He's behaving like a champion. And it was, I say, in what I mean by behaving, he's taking the fights what he should be taking. Seeing his mandatories like that. Going up there, getting the fight with Anthony Joshua. Thingy into his rematch clause, doing the rematch and being successful, and like I say, he's doing what should be done, and now he's fighting for the undisputed. So you can't ask more than that, at the minute. But as I said, to get into that category of to compete with them names I've said, your Muhammad Ali's, your Lennox Lewis's, Larry Holmes, Evander Holyfield's, and so on. It takes a lot, and I think there's still a bit more work with Usyk to be done there to get into that category itself. Anthony Joshua, as I said, I think resume-wise, he's got a good resume, you know what I mean? You can't take that away from him. He's stepped up, it is what it is. He fell short against Usyk, he got shook up by Ruiz, but he redeemed himself against Ruiz, so credit where credit's due there, but it was done by Usyk comfortably. But he's on the track, rebuild, and he wants to do more. And for Anthony Joshua, if he can get that Wilder fight in 2024, which it looks like roads, as I was saying in previous videos, all roads are leading to that. It's a fantastic fight. But it won't make him a world champion, but it's good to have on the resume. His resume as it stands, yeah, in full of tremendous defences, but it's good defences. And as I say, Vacate, he was a good fighter, hell of a defence. I think that's probably his best defence. Vladimir Klitschko, of course, that was a defence. It was a unified fight I know Vlad didn't hold the WBA, but it was put up for that fight, and it was a defence for AJ's RBF. So there his two best defences. Ruiz wasn't meant to go how it went, but it did. And he come back and he won his titles back, as I said earlier. Your credit where credit's due. Ruiz coming fat as a pig and undisciplined and whatever, but he did what he had to do. Cautious approach, boxed him for 12 rounds, did what he had to do, and you can't knock him for that. You ain't going to stand there and trade with him, and when he knows what happened in the first fight, and he did the job. But all in all, Anthony Joshua, I think out of all of them, he has probably the best resume. 12 world title fights, and has he got 3 losses, so it's not too bad, but time will tell with Joshua what he goes on to achieve. With the belts do get scarred, if Tyson vacates, I'm sure Joshua will have an opportunity to fight for one of them vacant titles. Deontay Wilder, for me, he was a protected champion. He come out the other day and mentioned about Joshua not having the same opportunities as Joshua, and if he did, he'd have been the same success and what have you. And you did have them opportunities, Deontay Wilder. You did have them. You had the opportunity to fight Vladimir Klitschko for all the belts because you was the WBC. You beat Stavern, and you had that opportunity. And if people remember correctly, Wilder turned that down. His team come out with the statement, baby, he's a baby champion. You know what I mean? He's not ready for that. He didn't want none of that smoke. So he had the opportunity there to go unify with Vladimir Klitschko. He didn't want that. And again, there was speculation he had the chance to unify with Joseph Parker. And I are 100% on this one, so I won't knock him for that one. But if that did occur, he didn't want that fight, and that's what I've heard, and seen. He didn't want the Parker fight, so. But his resume itself, yeah, there is something like 13 world title fights on there, and he's had 2 losses, 1 draw. But that resume is thin, The way it was carefully matched, they made Ortiz out to be something he wasn't. He was the bogeyman division. That was bullshit. Ortiz was never that guy, and they built him up Ortiz to make Wilder look better, and that wasn't the case for me. It is what it is, and he struggled, didn't he, against Ortiz? But he got the job done, and you've got to give him credit there for doing that. But his resume is very thin. Like there's a couple of guys on there I didn't even know, until they fought Deontay Wilder, for example, the Wappis. Spilker, I didn't know them guys till they got on the radar with Deontay Wilder. So and it was very carefully manufactured, very carefully matched, and he had, again, back to Wilder, he had the opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua in the past. People forget that now. They made him a huge offer, and he turned that down, turned it away. It's there in writing, it's there to look up, it's facts. He turned that offer down. His words was he chose to fight Tyson Fury again, face Tyson Fury. And we've seen him fight Tyson Fury instead of taking the Anthony Joshua fight, which we all wanted at the time. Joshua versus Wilder. It should have happened. And it's only one person to blame, and that's Team Wilder and Deontay Wilder, while that fight didn't take place. Turned down a huge offer. So he had the opportunity there, and he chose to fight Tyson Fury instead. He cherry-picked Tyson Fury. It was a cherry pick gone wrong, massively wrong. But that's what he did. So them guys, they've all got a lot to do to get into the same sentence. To give him a case to be the greatest of all time, to get in that category, the all-time greats. There's a lot more to do in Tyson Fury. That's what we're getting at. He has got to do a lot more than what he has done. Like I say, his achievements of what he's done so far and achieved in boxing. Right, it is very good achievements. Massive victory in Germany, beating long reigning champion Vladimir Klitschko. It's a great accomplishment. Going over to the States and dethroning Deontay Wilder. Brilliant. Brilliant. As I said, one of the greatest satisfying nights in boxing. For me, that was when he destroyed Deontay Wilder in the second fight. Brilliant. Fantastic story, with what happened after the Klitschko fight and what have you. It was brilliant, to come back from all the adversity he went through, mental health and what have you, and it is what it is. Like I say in my previous video, it was inspiring, it was motivational, but to still that, and I won't forget, it could have been one of the greatest comebacks of all time if they didn't rob him. But his accolades and his achievements are really high, but the substance of the title defences, the resume, it's very thin. So let's hope Tyson is talking a bit of shit, that he won't vacate the belts if he is to be successful. Don't get me wrong, it's a tough fight, there's no guarantee that he will be. And same in Usyk's, but they both go, whoever is victorious that night, they both go on to fight the best of this era, and they can give themselves more substance and give themselves a better claim, to get in, to break into that category of the greatest of all time heavyweights. As of now, there's a lot to do from every single one of them big boys. Deontay Wilder's miles off it for me, even though he stacks up with the most title fights as it stands. Tyson Fury, again, his achievements, they're really good, but he's a long way off, comparing to them great fighters I've listed earlier, the all-time greats. Anthony Joshua, again, he's got a lot to do. If he can become 3-time world champion, it does rise his stock high again, but he's still a bit off, he's still got a lot to do. And again with Alexander Usyk achievements as a cruiserweight and an heavyweight up to now right up there. You know he's on the he's there. You know to really take off. You can't knock him. He's already an all-time great, as I say, but as a cruiserweight, he's up there to be a very good heavyweight. Same with Tyson. They're all there around there. You know for me around the top 15 to top 10 you could maybe fit them in, but I think to get into the top five, there's a bit of work to be done from all four of them as heavyweights. But as I said, time will tell. Becoming undisputed on the 17th of February, that will go a long way, and that will put a few points on the old chart of getting in there. But as I say, they need to see a lot of the current crop, defences. And I've named off the fighters there I'd like to see them go on and face and defend the titles against. So let's see what happens, and hopefully, that will be the case. If Tyson is to be successful, he'll go on and defend his belts and not vacate. But if he does vacate, it does open up the division again. But it's not very good for Tyson's legacy to get into the conversation of being an all-time great. So guys, let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if you think Tyson's talking waffle again and he will vacate, or will he, won't he? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the video and what have you. It's all appreciated. Negative, positive, I appreciate it all. It is what it is. Last off, massive shout out to everybody. I got my first video out there to reach 1,000 views. I'm having a moment with that. It's still building now, so that's fantastic. I've hit 100 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who's put in the time, to subscribe. It means a hell of a lot. I much appreciate it, and as I say, keep building the channel. I enjoy it. It is what it is, and I appreciate all your support, negative and positive. It is what it is. It's support at the end of the day. So yep, don't forget, hit that subscription button, hit that like button, hit that share button, get it out there. UK Boxing Group, let's talk boxing with me, Triple D. As always, guys, take it easy, have a good day, peace out.